Couple quick facts about Waukee. Waukee is one of Iowa's fastest growing cities. Apple just committed to putting their biggest data center yet in the western suburbs of Waukee. Not to mention, Waukee is spending $20 million on a 66-acre park on the northwest side of Waukee. 12 baseball fields, tons of green space, and just a place to hang out and call home. If this is the first time at this channel, we discuss all of what it looks like to live in Des Moines, and this specific video is going to be all about Waukee and what it's going to look like for you to relocate. You're going to live, eat, sleep, play, have your kids in school. It's everything about Waukee. My name is Darson Grantham, and I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams.
I'm Alex Hager, also a real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty.
Yeah, and so on this channel, again, we're going to just cover everything there is to know about Waukee and all of the neighborhoods, all the suburbs, everything that you need to know. Old Waukee is going to be our first neighborhood. Thus, we're standing in one of the parks that's right in the middle of Old Waukee.
Got it.
Even like there's houses that are 1920s that are in this town. Even though Waukee is known for the new development, there's still this old section of Waukee. The kind of base level is you're not going to find anything under 250,000, and that first kind of home buyer first level is going to go up to 350,000. And what that's going to get you is probably, I don't know, 1,100 to 1,300 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath. Most houses are going to have a garage.
Because of the way things are right now, and just the entire community of Waukee, if we are working with a buyer that says that they're looking for something under, say 225, because of the way things have been in the community, all the different newer construction developments, it sort of limits your purchasing power to only really looking in what we call Old Waukee.
Yeah, I would even say
75.
I would even say in Old Waukee there isn't much that comes on the market under 200.
No.
So
and
like if you're looking to spend under 200 and you're looking at Waukee, there might be a suburb of Waukee that you need to look at, maybe one of the smaller towns, or a condo. There's absolutely condos that can hit that price point under 200,000.
There's a lot of times where someone will say, I want to be in Waukee because I've got to get my son into this specific school because of football, to use that as an example. And the reality is, if that buyer says, hey, they slide a pre-approval letter across the table, and the max price that they can afford is $180,000. The reality is, in Waukee, when you're buying a single family house, single family home, there really isn't anything right now that fits that. So we usually will say, hey, what about townhomes? What about condos that usually fit that bill?
And then you have your next step up. You have your $350,000 up to $500,000. Those are in Old Waukee. Those are going to be your bigger square foot houses. So you're going to have a 2,000 square foot house, probably going to be a brick, probably going to be on half-acre lot, maybe a little bit smaller. But that's what your 300 to 500,000. And the good thing about that is you're in the middle of Old Waukee.
Right. You
can still get anywhere in Waukee within 5 minutes. Still a 5-minute walk on a trail or a 5-minute walk to get to a biking trail anywhere throughout Waukee. And you just have more established neighborhoods. You have your bigger trees, you have more shade in most of the time in most of the areas. So if you're looking at $500 to $1 million price tag, Old Waukee really just isn't going to be your fit. The needs and amenities that you're going to find in a house are not going to be found in Old Waukee. Quite frankly, there just isn't. You'd be completely overpaying if you spent $500,000 in most of the houses in Old Waukee.
Just tell the truth and say it like it is, right?
But the argument is there's a handful of old acreages that used to be on the outskirts of Waukee that are now in the middle of Old Waukee, that when they go up for sale, they'll sell for $1 million, $500,000 to $1 million, just because they're old farmhouses with a couple acres of land.
They become so desirable too around the area that when they do come on the market, they're gone within days, right? They're gone.
Yep. So that's what's 500 to $1 million is going to get you in Old Waukee. One of the things about Waukee, when you're thinking about moving to Des Moines and Waukee specifically, new construction is probably on your mind, right?
For sure.
Because the price points, like you can get into something at the 350 mark and upwards of $1 million, right? But what does new construction mean? Like, how complicated is it? What's the time frame? So we're just going to do a real small deep dive into what we're seeing on new construction.
One of the things that has come up, even just earlier today, you know, between the two of us, has been a lot of times when someone has Waukee on their radar, right? They're a buyer, they really want to move to Waukee. It's their number one end goal. New construction, whether it's building, you know, from the ground up, just buying a pre-existing but new construction home, Waukee's usually, if not the top reason that they're moving, is new construction.
It's definitely top 5, right?
For sure.
And so new construction, it could mean you're just picking out a floor plan that one of the main builders in town is building, right? So you pick out the ranch, 3-bed, 2-bath, full basement on, you know, an 1/8 of an acre lot. Like that's totally reasonable. On the other side of that, you can go full custom. You can have a, you know, ground up 12-foot pool in the backyard on a huge lot in another part of Waukee. So depending on where you're looking in the type of house that you're building, you got it. Custom build. You can do, you know, pick it out of a floor plan and a plot, and we can be good to go.
I know I get questions from buyers all the time about this. Is will the cost of building either stay the same or increase, or will it go down? And the reality is, if you go back 3 years ago, 4 years ago, in Waukee, it would maybe be $70,000 or more less to build that same home. So the prices are not gonna fall on new construction anytime soon around the Waukee area.
And what this video is it's about Waukee, right? We're talking a lot on new construction, and there are pros and cons of new construction, pros and cons of resale, and we'll get into that into another video. But ultimately what Alex is saying is you should not worry about your house going down in value if you're gonna live in there for the next 5 to 10 years.
Got it.
If you're looking to sell sooner than 5 years, my motto is, I'm the realtor that says don't buy.
Right.
If you're gonna live in there for less than 5 years, go rent. Go find somewhere that rents.
Got it.
Because that's gonna be financially a better fit for you.
Yes, for sure.
This is called dedication. We might or might not have legal access to be here. Last segment, we talked about new construction. In this segment, we're gonna talk about kind of your higher priced neighborhoods is Westwoods and Westcrest.
Westwoods, Woodcrest.
These are gonna be your Woodcrest. What is it?
Westwoods or Woodcrest.
Older houses that have been around for a while, maybe built in the 1980s, 1990s. This is one of the few kind of local ponds where you can have a house and you can have a kayak on the back of it, and you can kind of create your own little nature scene in your backyard in Waukee. A lot of Waukee is new development, but this neighborhood, you're looking at houses ranging from 450 up to $1 million plus, and they're gonna have 4-bedroom, 3-bed, 4-bed, 5-bed, 6-bed, multiple bathrooms. And a lot of them, as you can see, the terrain is different. You're gonna have a walkout on most of these houses.
Right. When you get a community like Waukee, one of the things that this might surprise you, you might even laugh at me for saying this here, but an area like this, it gets overlooked because people think of brand new homes between, you know, $200,000 and $400,000, and that's it. And like we chatted about in a video before, there is what we would consider older Waukee on the, you know, 175 to maybe 250 range, but there's also an area like this where it's the total opposite in terms of, you know, 500 up, 600 and up.
And one of the things about this neighborhood is you're not looking at cookie cutter houses. Right. All of these are very custom. You're looking at a California, you're looking at an Italy looking like property. Right. What are the wordings?
Miami style. Elevated style.
I don't know what any of that means. Some of the properties, you're looking at some properties that are completely brick, right? Or you're looking at some things that look like they came straight out of Miami Vice TV show, right? Here in this neighborhood, there isn't any room to build, but there is room to buy maybe an outdated property and completely rehab it. So that'd be what you're gonna do if you wanna make something custom. These houses are, at the beginning when they were built by the best of the best in Des Moines, right? So you're looking at, they're gonna import all the materials, they're gonna have the high-end everything. And although they could be dated to some, they're going to be nostalgic and perfect for others, right?
Yeah, good way to
put
it.
So it isn't like they're ever gonna be out of style because of how perfect they were built. Where as a new build right now, if you're doing a cookie cutter home in a new development, you know, it could be outdated in 10 years because the
Right.
grays, the whites, whatever is out is just not popular. These houses are so design heavy that it's a perfect design and layout, and it was custom built for that look and that purpose. You're just not going to need to do a full rehab on most of these properties.
If you have if you're working with a buyer and they want to move into an area like this versus something that is sort of that entry-level Waukee single-family home, say $250,000 to $300,000, how long would you say that these type of property would stay on the market versus something like that? You think it would take a week to sell, 2 weeks to sell? What would you tell a buyer?
I think in this neighborhood, the turnover, so in real estate in general, turnover is a term that a lot of people pay attention to in neighborhoods, right? So you want to make sure that what you're looking for isn't the unicorn.
Right.
If it is the unicorn that you just don't find, you jump right away. This neighborhood is one of those unicorns. Houses, we just did a tour of it, and I didn't see one house for sale. So in summary, Waukee, like, maybe it isn't the place for you, but like, we're not here to sell you on Waukee.
Right.
We record videos on the greater Des Moines area. So all of the suburbs, all of the communities, we want you to be able to pick the right place, the place that feels home, by watching these videos and feeling it through the camera.
One of the things that sort of goes under the radar are things like condos, townhomes, and the point is there's this kind of preconceived notion that if you're going to move to Waukee, it's going to be in a $300,000 brand new, custom built home. And if you do like the amenities, the school system, and you want to be there, but you're really only looking at, say, a $150,000 property. There are so many condos and townhomes to fit those needs. You can still be in that community truly all over the board with your price.
Yep. Thank you for watching this Living in Des Moines channel, this video on Waukee. And if you are relocating, if you're looking to live, you're looking to move, you're looking anything about Waukee or the Des Moines Metro, shoot a text, shoot an email. We're here to help. We got your back. Boots on the ground. We want to make sure that it feels good for you to move and not a stress.
And if you are watching this and you are currently located out of Iowa, you're thinking about moving in and Waukee is on your radar, and you're not seeing something in this video that maybe you did want to see, let us know, reach out to us, and we can send something your way that is on something that you're thinking, hey, we did forget this. Let us know. We'd love to help you.
That's good. Okay.